Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another lesson. This is a recap Monday, September 15th, and the market is continuing to make all-time highs on the NASDAQ. So again, this is just going to be a video about me and my team. I'm going to break down some things about today, break down some Q&As. We're going to go over some stuff that I bet you guys will learn. So I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Again, if you want to trade live with me every single day and learn these markets inside and out on NQ Futures, click the link down below and you will be able to join my team. But without further ado, let's hop on into this video. How doing? What's up, guys? What's up, what's up, what's up? Happy Monday. It is the first day of the week. You know, hopefully we all finished on a green note. Hopefully we all finished so far on the right track. You know, consistency is amazing and consistency is super important. So again, I hope everybody had a good day, and today we're just going to be breaking down, you know, the trades we took today, things that, again, we can be looking for every single day. If you guys have any questions about kind of getting set up, getting started, or a little bit of the nitty-gritty here, don't be afraid to ask. You know, that's why we do these. That's why we do this, you know, so you guys can come with the questions in the Q&A, you know, and then when we trade live in the morning together, you can take what you kind of learned tonight and then add on to that every single day. And then so forth. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Pull that up here. Perfect. And then it is being recorded, so you guys can obviously go ahead and rewatch the video and so forth. Okay. So let's kind of talk about the market today, guys. You know, today, again, we broke all-time highs. We've been trading above all-time highs. You know, the market is super bullish lately. Here's push after push after push, you know, and I don't really see truly any type of pullback. You know, I know we took one short earlier today, you know, and the first trade was a small loss, and the second trade was actually that banger. You know, I went in a hair too early on that first short. So let's go ahead and kind of break down the trades, right? You know, I tell you guys before, I hate trading all-time highs because we truly do not know how much room we have until the market, you know, tells us, hey, where are the next key levels, right? So again, we can see actually my algo that we're actually smacking into a solid level of resistance here, a trend line right here at 24,556. Okay, so that is something that I'm going to be interested in. We might actually maybe tomorrow we might see a liquidity sweep to the upside, sweep these highs and then sell right back off. You know, that's something that definitely might happen. Tomorrow might be a red day. Again, am I 100% sure? Do I know that's the case? No, but that is something that could possibly happen. Okay. Today's trades, you know, the first trade we took were longs. You know, it was a really, really good long. Sometimes, obviously, the second long could have been a little better, but we just truly don't know how much we're going to push. You know, we never know that. But the first trade, right? I knew pre-market highs were right here. You know, we had pre-market highs here at 24,418. Okay, this is 24,418. What coaching? Before I load up TradeVate, I was wanting your opinion on the best platform to trade futures on. TradeVate. TradeVate is the my personal opinion on. I trade my personal capital on TradeVate. You know, you don't need a lot of money to use TradeVate. I think they're the best for futures. Obviously, I'm thinking about moving over for personal capital into Thinkorswim TOS, but you need $30,000 to trade futures on there. Or at least around 30 grand. So the fast and easy question would be just start on TradeVate. TradeVate's the way to go for sure, 100%. Okay. So obviously he was pre-market highs here at 23,418, you know, and I was waiting for the market to kind of yeah, I got you, fam. I was waiting for the market to just push super aggressively, and that's what we did. We pushed super aggressively. I told you guys, hey, don't get FOMO. Let's wait for the setup to happen. You know, wait for some type of pullback continuation to the upside, and that's exactly what we got. Right, we got. I knew that we had highs here at 24,453, and we formed that first lower high right here. You know, and I always tell you guys, if we're going to be in an uptrend, we want to start seeing those higher highs and higher lows. Right, and that's exactly what the market started doing this morning. Really good price action. I give this about a B plus in price action. Right, we started seeing these continuation plays, right? That push, pullback, continuation. That push, pullback, continuation, right? And this was the first trade we took, right? We took longs, and we went in a little earlier, right? I think I even told you guys to go in a little earlier. But my entry was 23 24,451. My exit was actually on the T. My exit was at 24,463. So that was my move. That was my first trade of the day, and I made pretty good money. Again, I went in 4 NQ contracts, and then I went in a full size of 8 NQ contracts on that trade. Now, again, I always tell you guys, first size should be a half position size. Does everybody understand what that means? When I say go in half position size, does everybody understand what I mean by that? Are we all good by half position size? Just quick thumbs up, quick question real quick for the team. Yes. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's half position size, and when we go in half, right, this was my first entry, and I'll kind of color code this green here. So I go in 4 NQs. Now, this candle wick right here, right, when it opened right here on this body, right? And if you guys know how to read candles, how does a bullish green candle form? Well, a bullish green candle opens at the body and closes at the bottom of the body and closes at the top of the body. And then the wicks is where price went to but never closed at, right? So the candle technically opened at 24,456, and it went all the way back down to 24,449. So I was red a little bit, right? We were red a little bit, but again, my stop loss was 50% of the candle. So it didn't even get close to my stop loss on the first trade, okay? A lot of us in here, and I speak to a lot of students, that you guys get scared when you start seeing those tiny pullbacks, those tiny wicks. Does anybody get scared or freak out or get nervous when we enter long here, we get a little bit of green, right? We enter long here, price comes all the way up to here, and then we get that next candle open here, and then we get a pullback a little bit. And a lot of you guys are like, my goodness, we were green maybe 50, 60, 70 bucks. Now we're red, right? But that's just the normal way of how the market moves. There's always going to be pullbacks. There's always going to be movement. There should be no fear as long as we have a game plan, right? So then right when we pulled back here, I actually added another position. I'm going to color code this purple, okay? I'm going to color code this purple. And how this worked was I went in 4 NQ contracts here. When we got that pullback and we were trading at 24,449 and we came back up, I'm like, if will be more comfortable, I will want to add more position if we can break back above 24,454. Excuse me, guys. So this was my re-add. So then I was in 8 NQ contracts at this point. So if my original entry was here and then I added here, where do you guys think my dollar cost average would be to? And I'm going to make my dollar cost average orange, okay? My dollar cost average is going to be orange here, okay? So technically now, if it goes below this orange line, I'm red on the trade, because if you first have a position here, you add here, it averages out. That's why it's called dollar cost averaging. It averages out to this orange line, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and remove these lines and say, okay, now I'm in 8 NQ contracts here, okay? And then right when market started pushing here, right, I then decided to move my stop loss. My original stop loss was right here. Let's make this red for you guys. I'm really wanting to talk about how I'm managing my position and how I'm able to make 1.9K on that trade, right? Is this the biggest move ever? Could we want to have a bigger push on this trade? Yeah, for sure we could have. I wish we did, right? But hey, we didn't, okay? So then I'm like, okay, cool. And we got that extra push here, right? And when we got that push, I said, okay, I'm going to move my stop loss now to here. So now what's happening? Since I have my dollar cost average at this orange line and my original stop loss is here, well, I'm adding risk. If I'm adding to my position, my loss is going to be greater if I'm wrong, right? So if I'm wrong, I need to make sure that I'm not being super crazy with it. I'm not just moving my stop loss immediately to break even, but I'm moving it now a little higher because now I added to my size because I'm more confident in the trade continuing to the upside. Okay, and that's now where and if you guys have questions, feel free to cut me off. But now I have my stop loss here. So it was originally at the 50%, move it to candle low here because we flipped red to green, and then we continued pushing. Then when we were somewhere, then we came up to here, right? And this is where when we were up pretty much here, and I was around that 1.3, 1.5 K. Yep, it is being recorded, brother. Then I decided to move my stop loss all the way up to break even. So now, what's the worst case scenario? You guys know 8 NQ contracts is pretty heavy. So I'm like, okay, worst case scenario is now it's going to be a 0-0 win. A 0 win, 0 loss. Nothing happens if I decide for this to come all the way back down. Nothing happens. Okay, so then obviously I exited that position at that next high candle, and that's how I made that 1.9K. Okay, and that was the first trade. Questions, comments on how I managed my trade, how I added to my position sizing, how I knew to go long, how I knew when to move my stop loss. Could we put down, does everybody understand how that worked? Now, again, if you guys are coming in late or you guys want me to re-clarify it, it is being recorded, so you guys can rewatch this 1,000 times if you guys want to, okay? So I'm assuming we're all good. Do you immediately change your stop loss size when you add contracts? Correct. So when I added to my size, so my original stop loss was 50% of the candle we entered on, right? So my first position size, when I went in half position size here, right? Let me delete these other white lines. When I went into my half position size at this white line, my original stop loss was that red level right here. Then when I added again to my position sizing, I moved my stop loss because the trade is now, when I add, and the reason why I add, guys, is because I'm more confident in the trade to go in my favor. If I'm not truly confident in the trade continuing the direction I'm wanting to, I'm never going to add size. So you guys can see when I'm wrong on trades, which again, it's normal, we're going to be wrong sometimes, I only lose on half size positions. But when I'm correct, right, I win on full size positions. And then when I talk about the second trade that I took today, which is actually a $700 loss, I was still up very, very nicely, okay? So yes, I did move my stop loss in a candle low, and then when I fully got that full confirmation and I was about to exit my trade, I went to break even. So I actually moved my stop loss 3 times, 50%, then I added to my position sizing, moved it up a little bit. Then when I was about to get out of the trade, I moved it to break even, okay? A lot of you guys just go from stop loss at 50% and then boom, break even. Why? You have to give it some room, okay? Do you change the limit sell to 8 immediately out, or does it automatically do that? No, you have to change it. You at least a trade of it, you have to change it. You have to change it, Alex. Okay. So that was the first trade. All right. Second trade was shorts. Okay. We started pushing, right? And I told you guys, I'm like, I'm not comfortable going in long again. I'm not comfortable. You guys can see we absolutely just started really ripping here very, very aggressively. And I told you guys, I'm not comfortable. I am waiting. I don't want to, because we're at all-time highs. Because we're at all-time highs, I don't want, like, we don't truly know where that next level resistance is. I tell you guys this all the time. So why am I going to just continue trying to take the high break? I don't know. So again, I just sat on my hands. Yes, I missed out on this next move. Could I have taken it? For sure. I know some of us took that long play. But again, I missed out on some. It's fine, right? And then this was the play, the second trade of the day. Again, I'm up 1.9K already. And this was the second trade, okay? I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to wait. Oh my goodness, this looks like a liquidity sweep. It looks like a liquidity sweep, right? Wait, hold on. Let's make sure we answer all the questions. Do you ever leave runners like sell? No, I mean, no, I don't usually leave runners, Alex, because at least it's how I trade. I like just following my full game plan. Runners, meaning that you just want to see how far that trade will really take you. Is it bad to leave a runner? Is it okay to leave a runner? It's completely depending on how you want to trade. Do I leave runners? No. Okay. Because again, I'm going in enough to where, hey, I made 1.9K in a trade. I made 3.5K today. I mean, leaving runners, yeah, could I have made more? For sure. But I don't personally leave runners. Does that mean you guys should not? No. It just means how can you manage the risk? It's all about how do you know how to manage risk. Okay, cool. So the second trade, why did I decide to go short? How did I get stopped out? Right? So right when I saw this liquidity sweep right here, guys, and I started seeing price come back down. Well, I was interested in going in shorts, and I'm going to make this level red here. I was interested in going short, and this was the trade that I lost $700 on. Okay, and how I controlled my risk was I went in 4 NQ contracts, and I lost $700. Again, I'm already up 1.9K on the first trade. So me losing $700, yeah, it took away some of my profit, but I'm still up over $1,000 off of that loss. And that's what we want to do, okay? So we can see the reason why I decided to don't leave runners on TPT because of the trail. Correct. I mean, if you're using prop firms, you can't leave runners. Correct. Okay. So the second trade, why I liked it was we saw we had the liquidity sweep. This candle right here, you can see this massive wick. This was actually a green candle, right? We actually opened here because, again, how does a sell white body candle form? How does that form? Well, with a sell candle, instead of a green candle forming at the base and closing at the top, it's the exact opposite for a sell candle. We close at the top, we open at the top, and we close at the base. So when this candle opened here, we opened here, price then turned green. This candle was green before it closed red. It went all the way back up here, right? Retested this level, formed a lower high right here, right? Let me show you guys. We formed a lower high, right? And we came from this being a green candle back to red. So then that's why I said, you know what? I am really, really interested in potentially going in short, right? And that's why I went in short off of this break. 4 NQ contracts, okay? And I went in short here, and then look at this, right? And we were up, right? I was up pretty nicely on this trade. I was never able, and my take profit was all the way down here. This was my TP, okay? My entry was right here. My take profit was right here, right? And we got super close to take profit. Why that TP? Because, again, this was I get out usually early on this trade, but obviously if you want to have a main TP, it should have been here. Now, why would this be TP? Because this is a previous key level, right? This is a previous support level, right? We can see that we came up. This is support. So if you actually look at the market, look at this. See how we came down, support, bounced off of it, came down, support, bounced off of it? Yep, this is a support level, exactly. But when I usually exit my trades, I usually like exiting a hair earlier before the support, because if I try to get exits perfect at the support level, if we're having wick and chop, we might miss it. We might not get filled. Okay, so I entered 4 NQ contracts here, right? For me to, I could have been able to go in more. You know how we wicked back up and came back down. I could have added more, but I didn't add more super fast because, again, this is my second trade. I'm already in 4 NQs. I can still make a ton of money on this trade. I'm not going to add to my position, right? And we were right here. We were super close to TP, right? I was up, I think, like $600-700 on the trade. I was up over $2,000+. It was looking good, right? And then we came all the way back up, and I told you guys my stop loss was candle high of the candle we entered on. And you can see we reversed, and I got stopped out up here for a $700 loss, right? But again, I'm controlling my risk. Now, to you guys, $700 might be a lot of money, but again, I'm trading on my personal capital today, so that's really nothing to me. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Got stopped out. I'm still green for the day, and I was still liking this trade, right? I was still liking this trade because what happened? We just came back up here, and we just formed at this level of resistance, that lower high, excuse me. We just formed that level of resistance to come right back down. And I told you guys, hey, I'm still interested in taking this short. This still looks good for a short, right? And that's why I still liked it. We got immediately rejected again, and I went in short off of this candle, pretty much the same entry that I did beforehand, okay? What made you not put stop close above the previous highest high? You mean why did I put my stop all the way up like higher? Because, again, I'm just trying to control my risk. I didn't want to lose more than $900 on the trade. I was like, because I'm up 1.9, do I really want to give back half of my position? So for me, I'm like, you know what? I would rather just, like, it looks like it's coming right back up. I'm just going ahead and killing the position. It's a $700 loss. I can always, and that's the biggest thing, guys. When we take a loss, we can always re-enter a trade, right? If it, obviously we don't just re-enter because of emotions, but we could always re-enter a trade if the market says, hey, it's coming back. There's an opportunity. Right? I would rather get stopped out early on the trade and then re-enter again quickly for a green trade like we just did today, finishing the day up 3.5K. You see that? What makes it cool? Why not higher? But yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Could I put it higher? For sure, I could have put higher. But if I put it higher and I was wrong, instead of it being a $700 loss, that could have been over a 1.1K loss, and then I would have had to probably walk away for the day because then I'm only going to be $700 green. So I was up almost 2K, down only $700, right? So right when I saw this rejection again, I re-entered again 4 NQ contracts right here at the exact same key level that I entered that last trade on, right? And so I entered right there, right? Stop loss, candle high, okay? That was my stop loss. Again, we entered, boom. We were back to red again. And a lot of you guys are like, oh my gosh, we're red again. And a lot of you guys, you guys freak out a little bit. I feel like you guys freak out a little bit, right? And we were red a little bit. But again, my stop loss is all the way up here. I'm in half size. I'm not going in crazy. I'm not freaking out. And then when we come right back down, I actually added again. When we came right back down, just sell right back off. I added again another 4 NQ contracts at this low, right? So now again, I'm in now full size, 8 NQ contracts, okay? And then again, right when I add more, I moved my stop down immediately to candle high here, okay? And what happened? Our TP, just like I said, My TP was literally the previous TP that I was originally having for this trade, right? Sticking to the exact same game plan that I had originally, right? And look what happened. Beautiful. Hit perfectly to TP, and we were out of a trade. Again, then we wicked back up, and then we just consolidated for the rest of the day. But that was, again, the trade I was looking for here. Got stopped out. It happens. I don't hit perfect trades every single second, but I retried the trade. The third time is a charm. We hit that, and that was, again, I was down like $700, so I was up. I made another 1.6K or whatever the math is, finishing the day up 3.5K. Okay, so see how my winners are so much bigger than my losses, right? This last winter, I made 1.5K, right? It's bigger than my $700 loss, and that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. If you guys have winners that are bigger than your losses, when you guys do lose, you're not going to be like, oh my gosh. I know some of us in here, right? We took that first win here, and then we took that loss, and you guys are red again. Well, what are you guys doing? Are you guys averaging half size, full size? Probably not, because you guys shouldn't have been red on a green trade from a red trade. I just took a loss, but I didn't give back all my profit. How many of us in here, let's vote real quick, go from taking a green trade, and then when we have a red trade, the next trade, you're back to $0 for the day, or you're red on the day? Has that happened to anybody in here? We got, that's my downfall, getting back into a trade because I think it's going the way I think it didn't, and then get hit to, yeah, exactly. Happens to me sometimes, me because I don't have that much capital. Well, again, Buck, I don't know what you're trading with or how you're trading, but even on prop firms, you can do the same thing. Half size 5 MNQs, full size 1 NQ, right? So when you lose on a 5 MNQ position, it might be a $200 to $300 loss. But then when you win on a 1 NQ position, it could be a $400 to $600 win. You guys see what I'm trying to go at? Okay. And that was the third trade, and that's how I made that money for today, and finishing the day up 3.5K. Okay. And then you guys can see for the rest of the day, the market literally just decided to be in an uptrend / consolidation. Like this, it literally chopped from 9 in the morning till like 1 in the afternoon. So honestly, after this massive push and then that small little pullback, and you guys can see, like, look at this trend line right here. It's actually holding up pretty nicely. That we're actually having a decent level of support / trend. We're holding above this level. So I think if we break below this trend here, we might see some pretty solid selling pressure here. Some pretty solid selling pressure for sure. Okay. So I honestly think I don't think that's a I want to say excuse, Mr. Buck, when you're saying you don't have that much capital. If you use prop firms, there's more than enough capital. If you guys buy a 50K account, they give you more than enough capital. More than enough. They give you the ability to trade 50 micros. If you guys say that's not enough capital, like, that's insane. All right, you guys should have more than enough capital if you're trading on prop. If you're trading on personal capital now, then that's different. Will NQ go up forever, you think, like 50 years from now? Yeah. NQ, what is NQ, guys? What is NQ? NQ is tech companies, Tesla, NVIDIA, Facebook, Amazon, Palantir. No, the top 500 companies are, no. The S&P 500, that's why it's called the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is the top 500 companies. Dude, you're fine. Yeah, that's S&P. That's fine. That's why you're learning, okay? The NASDAQ is like tech-related stocks. Tesla, Facebook, Palantir, NVIDIA, Amazon, Google. Like those, that has not. So yeah, for sure. I did long term. That's why, guys, in my long-term portfolio in stocks, I have QQQQ. That is an ETF of the NASDAQ, ETF of the S&P 500. Because, again, I hold these for a long period of time. I'm just day trading the NASDAQ. We're day trading it. But if you guys are thinking, like, will this always go up forever? Not forever, but over to making decent returns of maybe 9, 10, 15% a year, 100% hold this in your long-term portfolio. 100%. It's called QQQ. Let me show you guys. It's called QQQ. It's an inverse ETF. You can see, look at QQQ. Doesn't this look exactly like the NASDAQ? Right? This is exactly like the NASDAQ, okay? You can buy shares of this and hold it, okay? There's a thing called TQQQ, okay? This is an ETF. Look, doesn't it look just like the NASDAQ, right? And then there's actually an inverse ETF called SQQQ. And if TQQQ goes up and SQQQ goes down, you see that? It's the inverse, right? If you just inverse this chart, doesn't this look exactly the same? But you can see that it's actually selling off. So let me type in TQQQ again. It's exactly the same, but look, it's just the inverse of the chart, which is pretty cool. So if you think about it, when I used to trade options, which again, I don't touch options anymore, I used to just trade TQQQ and SQQQ options. That's all I would do. Is I would, if the market's green, I buy TQQQ options. If the market's going red, I buy SQQQ options. Okay, because if the market's red, this will go up. If the market's green, this will go down. Okay. Yep. What do we got? Good to know. I'll have to get some Q. Yep, exactly. Yeah. After 2 days of also, I know nothing's certain in the markets, but aren't we due for a dump? I do believe so, because when we usually hit all-time highs, there has to be a correction in the market. So I do think the market should at least, I want the market to pull back a little bit. I want to say dump, because dump sounds like the market's going to crash or we're going to get a recession. But I do think the market should have a correction, hopefully in the next week or so. So maybe we might want to be looking for some shorts. But that's just a tiny little correction, right? Long term, yeah, this is going to come right back up and hopefully continue. Like if we want to look at let's go all the way out to the 1 day, 1 year time frame. Does this look bearish or bullish to you in long term period? Bullish, right? So again, like remember when we hit all time highs back here? Before this happened, we were hitting all time highs. We hit all time highs, we consolidated, we broke, and then we made a lower high, and then what happened? We dumped. But was this and people were getting scared and they were selling, oh my gosh, the Nasdaq's going down. Bye-bye Nasdaq. But look, it was just a correction in the market before then what happened? We came all the way back up and then broke it, and now we're continuing to trade higher, right? Yeah, true. If they cut rates, it'll dump. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It'll pump. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if they don't cut rates, we'll probably dump here. But if we do cut rates, I do think we still have quite a bit of room to the upside. So I think it will. Yep, exactly. Which I think is this week, right? I think it's like on Wednesday or something. It's coming up here. But for tomorrow, though, right? We have highs of yesterday, which is right here. We got lows of yesterday, which is today, technically, right? We got highs. We got lows. And we can start charting our levels, right? So when we can look for some trades for tomorrow, all right? Wednesday, okay, cool. So questions. Again, this was recorded, so you guys can watch the video again, rewatch the video. Any questions, any comments? Was everybody green today? Real quick, was everybody in here green? W's in chat. Hopefully everybody in here was green. Cross fingers, you know. I hope we were all green. Is there any way you can share your chart levels in a link so we could import your chart levels with Thinkorswim? No, you can't like import them. But Alex, if you go to the every single morning before I hop on live with you guys, if you go to the Will Setups tab in the Discord, I literally take a screenshot of my levels every single morning, so you can just copy them. Like every day I do it. Okay, I didn't do it today, excuse me, my bad. But pretty much every day I do it. I'm just slow. No, and if you guys are new, or you guys just joined, or you guys have been with me for a few weeks, and you guys are still kind of curious to how this Discord works, literally just watch the Start Here tab. I have a full video. Like, let me reshare my screen with you guys. I think, yeah. I literally have, you guys now see the Discord. I literally have a Start Here video of exactly how a Discord works, okay? I have, obviously, the team profits, you guys. I record my trades, the lessons where, again, announcements, like everything in here, guys, is very self-explanatory, and very, you just have to watch the videos, okay? Cool. Any other questions for tonight's lesson? I think we covered a lot. Any other things that you guys want me to cover? Anything you guys want to mention? Again, we'll see. Let's keep this streak going. Hope you guys are going to stay following your rules. Like, you don't want to start breaking them. If you guys, and that's the biggest thing. Let's say you guys start making money. A lot of us in here, and it happened to me too, we start getting cocky, right? We start thinking, oh, I don't lose. I can never lose. Blah, 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 blah. And then that's when we start breaking our rules. And then before we know it, right? Do you have days where you were frustrated and down? Oh my gosh, bro. Like, again, I know you're new. It took me 2.5 years, bro. And a lot of the OG students know this. It took me 2.5 years, fam, to become profitable. Now, am I saying that's going to take you 2.5 years to become profitable? No. But, bro, this took me, like, I started when I was 17. I'm almost 25 in January. Okay, I'm 24 right now. I started when I was 17. I didn't even start making money, right? I didn't even start making money till I was like 19, almost 20, right? And then my first year, I only made my first green, I made 17K. So, did I have down days? 100%. Do I have down days today still? I wouldn't say I have down days. Do I have red days sometimes? Yes. But at the same time, that's where rules come into place, right? You say that I'm down really bad today. Man, I'm so down today. Well, I can ask you like a handful of questions. How many trades did you take today? What was your position sizing? Why did you take the trades you took? Do you think you overtraded? Do you think you over leveraged? Do you think you got on tilt? Do you think you got emotional? And if you say yes, 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 yes to every single one of those things I just said, that's probably why you're super down today. Okay? Bad trades and yes, 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 yes. Yep, there you go. See what I'm saying? If you just follow your rules and follow the rules I teach you guys, does that mean that we'll never lose? No, we're still going to lose. It's trading. But it's going to give you a system in place that's going to make you profitable. Okay? What helped you was the most with him. What helped me, bro? My biggest thing that helped me with emotions, fam, was all about staying to my rules. Now, I know that sounds cliche and I know that sounds simple, but it's true. If I even did this, I think 2 months ago, I started breaking my rules and I had a red day. If I start breaking my rules, that's when the edge starts disappearing and when gambling starts creeping up. If I don't, that's why my rules, and most of us in here that have been with me for a while know my rules. I do not trade more than 4 times a day, meaning I will not place more than 4 trades in one day. I will walk away if I lose more than $1,000 in a day. I will not take a position after 10:30, and I will not take a position before 8:30. Those are 3 things that are not very hard. If you just, for those small, and obviously I will not take a trade unless it's 100% in my game plan and 100% in my strategy. So if I can just be consistent, be disciplined, and just follow those simple rules, I promise you guys will be, you guys will start seeing consistency. Now, a lot of us in here, oh my goodness, we'll make $3,500 today. Oh, this guy made $1,000 today. Oh, this other student made $300 today. And then you have, man, I only made $80 today. Do not judge your winners on other people's winners. Do not judge your losses on other people's losses. I wouldn't say negative a community, but the only thing is a lot of people compare their successes and their failures to other people. Do not do that. That's, I think, what took me a very long time to be profitable. When I first started averaging between $400 to $600 a day back in the day, that's really good money. Making $500 a day in 30 minutes every single day, that's insane money to any type of career out there. But then I was seeing other people online saying, I just made 50 grand today. I just made $16,000 today. And I'm like, damn, all these people are making that much money and I've been doing this for 3 years and I'm only making $500. Who cares, right? You have to be on your own journey and you have to eventually say, you know what? I will get to that dollar cost average one day, but I'm not ready yet. I'm not there yet. My $500 a day is where I'm at right now. Okay. Hit the nail in the head with that one. Yep. What hell? Yep. I got you. Bad trades, yes, he says, so hard to walk away when red, though. Yeah, again, it is hard to walk away when you're red. Who wants to walk away when you're red, bro? Nobody does. But that's what's going to separate a emotional trader to a consistent trader. Being able to walk away on your red days is going to make you say, you know what? I will be okay with this loss today because I could come back tomorrow and be green. Now, I don't even know if you guys remember this, but on one of my TPT accounts, I was down 1.1K. I don't know if it was 4 or 5 days ago. I was down 1.1K. I could have kept on trading and blew the account, but no, I walked away because I told you guys what are my rules. If I lose more than $1,000, I walk away. And then I came back the next day making 1.6K. You guys see that? So in 2 days, I'm green. I could have kept on trading that same day and blew the account, but I followed my rules, stopped trading, came back the next day, hit a banger. Now the account is alive and green. You see what I mean? Do you just use Tradeovate to copy trade or a third-party app? No, I use Tradeovate to copy trade. I don't use a third-party app. Tradeovate's copy trading is pretty decent, actually. For sure. It's pretty decent. I like it. What other questions we got? What else we got for tonight, guys? Keep it coming. You know, I want to be as transparent and as honest as possible, right? I want to tell you guys the truth behind this. I want to show you guys that it can happen. You guys can make a crap ton of money in this, but it's not going to come in one day, okay? When I got my first prop firm account, should I only trade on micros or minis with 1 or 2 NQ contracts? Now, that's all about how do you control your risk. If you're really bad at controlling your risk, you're still learning how to trade, I would not recommend trading minis. Because if you're wrong, if you buy a 50K prop firm account, you only got $2,000 to draw down. 2 NQ contracts, you can easily hit that 2K drawdown in very, very quickly. And you'll blow the account before you even said, wow, right? So again, for me, I know what I'm doing. I've had tons of years. I would probably trade 1 or 2 NQ contracts, but you guys are still learning, which is fine. That's why you guys are here. So I would recommend starting off with micros. 5 micros, guys, you can still make a shit ton of money on. And if you guys go in full size, so this is what I would say. Do 5 half-size micros, full size 1 NQ, okay? That's my 2 cents for you on there. What else you got? Will I recently started going half size 2 NQs, full size 18 or 20? Is that good? Wait. I would say, what do you mean? Like you start off with 2 MAQs and then you just add 18 out of nowhere? Is that what Mike, is that what you're doing? I would say do like 4 and then add like 5 or add 6. I wouldn't do 2 and then out of nowhere add 18. That's like kind of a big jump because what if you're wrong? That's not really that's not half size. That's like 0.1 and then you're going in full port. You know what I mean? So I would go in like 4 and then 8 or 4 and then 9. That's what I would do. I swear trading makes me look at life differently. People out here working their butts off for $200 a day. Dude, 100%. I tell you guys this all the time. It's crazy. Like when I started making some serious money in trading, and I even made a TikTok video about this. I was like, I went to Sonic the other day and I bought like a $20 worth of food or whatever. And the car hop guy walked up to me and just out of curiosity, I'm like, hey man, how much do you make an hour? He's like, he's like, yeah, I'm in my 3rd year of college right now, and I'm making $15 an hour with tips. So he's like, I'm average like $17 an hour. I'm like, how many hours do you work a day? He's like, oh, I work between 8 to 11 hours a day, and I work like 50 to 60 hours a week. Bro, if he works 9 hours in one day, 9 times 17, that's $153 before taxes. That man outside delivering fast food to cars worked 9 hours to make $100. Think about that. Just let that sink in real quick. 9 hours to make $100. And you guys in here make $400 in 15 seconds and want more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you guys need to kind of hit a reality check on your lifestyle. And it took me a while to figure that out as well. You know, I just made $3,500 in less than 30 minutes. And I probably made that man's month or 2 months, 3 months salary in 15 minutes. And people don't realize that it's okay that, oh, I only made $120. Bro, you made $120 in 12 minutes. That man worked 9 hours of blood, sweat, and tears and a shit job and probably touching a ton of greasy food to make what you just made in 15 minutes. And you want more? Right? And there's always a process to that. Okay? There's one day that $100 will be a $200 day. Like, guys, when I first started trading, I was making $78 a day in trading. That was it. $78 a day is about $17,000 a year. I was making less than a guy at Sonic per day. And then I built upon that, right? And then my $78 days turned into $300 days. That turned into $500 days. That turned into $1,000 days. That turned into $3,000 days. To then one of my biggest days ever was I think my biggest day ever in 7 years was $19,000. Okay? It takes time, but it doesn't just happen in one day. You have to put the building tools and the building blocks to get there. Okay? I make $28 an hour. That works my butt off. Yeah, let's do that. You make $20 and $28. Let's just round it up to $30 an hour, okay? If you work 9 hours, so $30 times 9, that's $270 in a day. Decent. That's pretty good, right? But think about it. In trading, you can make $300 in 15 minutes what it take you to make in 9 hours. You guys see that? And $38 an hour in America is decent. Is decent. The average income, dude, the average family income in America, guys, with a family of 4 is $50,000 to $60,000 a year. The average family in America with 2 kids and a wife and a husband is $50,000 to $60,000 a year before taxes. If you guys want to see how much that is, let's do $60,000 a year. Divide that by 12 before taxes. They're bringing in about $5,000 a month. Okay, $5,000 a month. Divide by 4. They're bringing about 1.2K a week. 1.2K a week. Divide that by 5, or I'll do 7, whatever. So it's $178 a day. The average American is bringing in $178 a day. And you guys are mad at making that in seconds. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying you guys specifically, but just the regular trader, right? And it took me a long time to break that mental and break that mindset. Okay. Yeah, I already made more money than my dad, and I don't make more than $80K a year. It's tough trying to be financially successful in a non-financial successful. Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy because, like, Alex, you say you made more than your dad, and then when you show your dad, hey, I make this much money, it depends upon how would react off that, After tax and insurance, more like 100. Yeah. And it's pretty much. So again, I hope that opens some of you guys' eyes. He's definitely proud, but no advice. Yeah, I was very blessed that my dad worked on Wall Street for 25 years, so that's kind of how I got even into this market. Like I'm very blessed that my dad was very financially literate. So, because schools do not teach anything about finances. They don't teach you how to do taxes. They don't teach you how to open a credit card. They don't teach you about mortgages. They don't teach you about rent. They don't teach you about car loans or mortgages or credit. They don't do any of that stuff, right? I had to learn all that through my trial and error, and then my dad, thank God. So, yeah, but they pretty much teach you, get a 9 to 5, make $40K a year, retire at 90 with $1 million in your bank account, and pretty much. It's pretty sad. So, literally, I knew from a young age I didn't want that. Yeah, that was literally me, 17. All of my friends were like, oh, I'm going to go all to these Ivy League colleges. Guys, I went to a community college before I dropped out. And everybody was making fun of me. Well, you're going to amount to nothing. You're going to a community college. You don't even blah, 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 blah. You're working 3 jobs as a server, right? Now look at me. I'm 14 times wealthier than most of my friends. They're not my friends anymore, but most of the people that I went to college with or they dropped out of college, they live in their mom's basement, and they work at a gas station. How is an Ivy League degree cheating you now, bro? You know what I mean? I'm not hating on anybody, but it's pretty funny, when people look at you and they're like, I went to college, got an engineering degree, just hate going. Engineering degree is good, bro. I think being a lawyer, doctor, nurse, engineer, electrician, plumber, those are very, very good skills to have. And those are really good things to go into college for. 100%. You'll easily make 6 figures in any one of those things I just said. Easy. Now, if you want to be like, I want to make $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million, $10 million, $20 million, $50 million a year. Yeah. Working any one of those jobs is not going to get you there. You have to do something that 99% of people aren't doing. How can you make $5 million, $10 million, $15 million a year or more? You have to do what other people are not doing. What is that? Businesses, investing. You know what I mean? What else we got? 22 years, taught me middle school for 6 years. Now it's drive tractors. Bro, I know probably middle school salary wasn't the best either. Driving tractors, excuse me, sounds pretty dope. That sounds pretty dope, bro. Driving a tractor, If the zombie apocalypse happens, I'll hit you up, I'll definitely hit you up for that. Hard to trade and drive. Wait, you trade and drive on a tractor, fam? Well, that's skill in itself. It's been crazy. There's actually people who care more about college experiences, again, not to touch on a touchy subject, but the assassination of Charlie Kirk, that man, he never went to college. He never got a degree. Look how much he did with his life. Look how much he impacted others. So it tells you college isn't everything, not even close. Those people haven't grown up. Yeah, literally. So, but other than that, guys, good lesson. This was recorded, so you guys can rewatch it 1,000 times over. I'll post this probably in the next 10, 15 minutes. Hope everybody has a great rest of their Monday. Good conversation, good stuff. Do not be afraid or hesitate to reach out to me. I'm always here. Keep asking questions. If you guys are new, welcome to the team. Love to have you guys, and let's keep on pushing here. Thanks for the great advice, knowledge. Have a good one, Will. I appreciate it, man. Have a good rest of you guys on Monday. I'll see you guys in the bright and early AM, and let's make some more money this weekend and keep pushing to your guys' goals. Anyways, peace out, team, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace.